Alright, so here's the deal. My name's Eric. I've started this morning, right now, probably 10 of these. I'll talk the other one, I talk for 10 minutes and I stop. Um, but when I'm watching videos, I know people put jump cuts. They have YouTube videos, they jump cut because nobody wants the awkward pauses like that. But I do. When I watch videos, I do. Just keep it real. I know, jump cuts may take out 10 minutes of your video. They very well may. But I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna record. I'm gonna upload. If there's a minute silence, if I get all, cause trust me, I'm on some medicine that makes my brain pretty foggy. Where I'll just be talking in the middle of it. I'll just go blank. It's kind of scary actually. But quickly about me, why don't I want to watch this guy? But you don't really. There's really no reason. But my name's Eric Wetzel. I'm 39 years old. Born in Shenandoah, Iowa. Born and raised in Bedford, Iowa, on a farm. My parents farm. My dad is one of the hardest working people I know, which all farmers are. Farmers feed the world. They do. My mom's an amazing lady. She quit work when I was born. I'm adopted. My biological parents, actually, my biological parents, live in Kansas City, about a half hour from me. Both of them do. They said they hadn't talked to each other since I was born either. So that's kind of crazy. I had to look them up in 2008 due to some medical issues. But yeah, anyway, the my real parents, the parents that adopted me, they were lived on a farm. Man, that's what they do is farm. So I was born and raised on a farm. I had a little sister at in '89. Uh, she 88. My little sister born in '88. She's 8 years younger than me. I'm really bad with dates, birthdays, names, all that stuff. So anyway, so um, here's that pause thing I'm talking about. I'm not gonna cut that out because it is what it is. My next tattoo, by the way, it is what it is. See, I don't know what to do about these introductory things. I mean, I don't ever. Sometimes I like to write. I don't know. There's so much going on in my life right now. It's like where to even start. So I just gonna talk, and whatever we talk about, we just talk about. One thing is, I don't like to talk on the phone. I will never call somebody. Like, I feel like I've lost friends this way too. Which they, should know that about me because I've always been that way. But like, I don't like to call people. I always feel like I'm interrupting them. What if they're busy, or what if they're trying to sleep, or whatever? So I'll always text them and say, "Hey, call me," or I've never stopped by and announced. I never do. I'll always, call. But then, like, I don't want to say that to somebody. That's why I'm working on with my therapist. Yeah, I've got a therapist too. Don't we all? Probably not, but I don't know. But anyway, like, I don't want to say to somebody, "Well, I'll never stop by," because I think that's rude. Because if they actually stop by somebody's house, then that's basically me calling that, "Oh, you think I'm rude?" Well, I don't. I know I don't think it's rude. I guess I shouldn't have said that. I don't think it's rude. It's just something I don't. I don't do. That's what I don't do. I'll always, I'll never ever stop by unannounced. I might even stop right in front of your house, and then I'll text you, "Hey, you busy?" And if you don't answer, I won't come in. I won't because you're probably sleeping then or something. That's just how I am. I don't know. It's weird. I know, but um, I guess I'm just doing this video because I'm lonely. My girlfriend lives here, of course, and my son Gage, stepson, but he's son to me. He's always been my son. And my two biological children are with their mom across the town here, which me and my ex-wife get along great. Her name's Becky. I met her. We was high school sweethearts. I met her. Oh, she was in high school, and we started going out. Uh, we had Kyle in 2001, and I uh, I started driving a truck in 2003, 2002, somewhere in there, and drove over the road for a couple years and I got a local job in St. Joe, Missouri. But we run the rail yards out of Kansas City. So I come into work at like 3 in the afternoon. We get down to Kansas City at 4 p.m. Then we work till midnight, 1, 2 a.m. Then come back up to St. Joe. So Kansas City and St. Joe's about 20 miles, 30 miles apart. Well, depending on where you go, 50 miles ish, but, so, and then, I had another, daughter in 2004, in April 2004. So, we got in January will be a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And that's, Gage and Haley are only a month apart at 16, but that's why, is Gage is Heather's son from a previous relationship, and then Kyle and Haley are the two other children. And when Becky and I got divorced, see, we get along good, or I feel we do. I think we do. And when we got divorced, we did a thing where, like, 2 days of the week I get both kids, 2 days of the week she gets both kids, and then we alter, every other day, every other weekend. So it sounds confusing, but it worked for us, and neither one of us, we had did it up where neither one of us pays child support. I claim taxes for Kyle, she claims them for Haley. Although, since I wasn't able to work since the middle of 2013, which I'm trying to get disability for, I'll get into that again later. 39 years old and trying to disability. Again, it's what it is. I was always way too embarrassed. Way too embarrassed. My dad worked his ass off. My dad broke his back before I was born. Rolled a tractor, broke his back. Right? Wasn't supposed to walk. It took him a long time to walk. But he had 2 metal bars put in his back. And those had been broke for years. I remember growing up, his back always hurt. But he worked 7 days a week, all day long, riding and combines, whatever it was. I did too. I helped him when I could first start driving. I think I first dissed my field by myself the first when I was probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, I don't know, young. But yeah, I can always remember him talking about how bad his back hurt. And when I got hurt in 2000, I tried to work it off too. But I just couldn't. I'm a lot weaker than my father. I was ashamed to admit that for a long time. When I got hurt in 2013, I applied for disability, but I did it quietly, and of course I got denied. So all this time, I've been, living off what Heather makes, what my girlfriend makes, with help from my parents every now and again, and I just feel so ashamed. And so, it's either keep mooching off your parents or apply for disability. So we'll get on to all. I'll make another video about that. That's a whole nother separate thing. Believe me, there's some crazy stuff with that too. But yeah, the kids, they don't come over here anymore. They quit doing that a few years ago, and I know my son Gage and my daughter Haley. I kind of feel, I don't know, there could be a bunch of reasons, that they got in a big fight. Gage and Haley growing up, because when we got together, Gage and Haley was 8, and they used to be inseparable. Gage and Kyle never really been that close. When they was younger, they was, but Kyle was more into, Xbox and stuff. He kind of stayed in his room, and that's one thing I should have never let him get that bad, was playing Xbox all the time. I let him play. I tried to keep up on his grades too, and I would ground him, and then I think that's also partly kind of what led into it. There's several. One, I always disciplined them. I had rules. The curfew. This was, I think the one that kind of stopped when they was 16, 17. Their curfew was 10 o'clock. And I think that's pretty good for a 16-year-old, 10 o'clock. When I was 18, my curfew was 11 o'clock. So, but their mom isn't quite as strict. So I that's the reason why they could have quit coming over. I don't think they should, feel like when Heather and Gage moved in that they got replaced. I don't see how they could possibly feel that though, because everything was great till a couple years. Gage got a car, but Heather used all her tax money for it, and Gage always works. Gage has been a workaholic. And so when he was from a little kid up till now still, he would always go into his families and always help plant flowers, mow yards, paint the house, anything going on, he always wanted to help. So all his family pitched in and cut an extra $2,000 because, each kid was going to have around the $3,500, $4,000 limit. So he was able to find a $6,000 car. And the other two don't have cars yet. So, but see, the whole thing with that, is when Kyle turned 16, he was still, we was doing it back and forth. He still stayed here. And I said, all right, and I tried to get him to work a couple years prior, which he really didn't want to. And, during the summer, I set rules that I was going to make him work. Well, he went and stayed the summer with his mom. So we ended up never working those summers. And so kind of what, started the whole thing was, they needed to work. And I said, right, you're 16. So now's your chance to get a car. My parents have good credit. Go out. I even actually talked to him the year before that. Get a job this summer, establish that you can work. Then Nick, because I started working at 14 at Hy-Vee full time, or no part time, because I was in school, but helping my dad too. I mowed yards in the summertime. But you typical teenager. Didn't really want to work. I mean, I didn't really want to work either, but I had to. Then what you get doing, it's just just how you do. You're a kid, you get a job, you work, then you get stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of how I was raised, it's how I was raised. Anyway, okay, so, and also another thing, part of the medicine I'm on, well, I was on Neurontin, or gabapentin, however you want to say, for my nerve issues. Well, I was up on 1,800 milligrams, and a day, and I had him back me down off that, my doctor, because it made me way too foggy. Like that, I would be talking, and then I would just kind of doze off. Kind of like if somebody's getting ready to have mini stroke or something, they're not all, they'll talk, and then they're just lost. That's how I feel. My brain's always foggy. Now, my doctor, last Friday, today's Wednesday, so 5 days ago, she took me off Neurontin and put me on Lyrica. So, but I still feel the fogginess. So, like, while I'm talking now, if I kind of space off, that is kind of what it is, and it just happened. Like, I don't remember quite where I was going with the thing about my kids in the car. Oh yeah, if they, maybe that's why my kids don't come over. If maybe they feel left out, like I left them out or something. Which, uh, the there's a whole thing with that was when Gage and Haley both turned. Oh, I know what it was. It was. I'm jumping all over the place here. I know. Um, uh, with my oldest son when he got a car. He worked, and because my dad's old school, you work your ass off for what you got. You don't get a loan, you don't get something until you have a job and show you can work for it. So, if my parents were going to help co-sign for them Kyle to get a car, he would have had to have a job first anyway. But he had no interest in driving. And I told him, I said, that's okay, but I don't want to see what happened is when it's your brother and sister's turn for a car, then all of a sudden you say, okay, I want a car. Because that wouldn't be fair to them. In my eyes, that wouldn't be fair to them. Now's your time. And I, let him know ahead of time, now's your time. And then this is their time. So, but when the time comes, he was never really interested in driving. And then time comes that Haley's going to turn 16. And I remember Heather was even going to help. I don't remember they had something set up. All I know is 2014, 15, 16, and 17, I wasn't working. I haven't worked since 2013. So nobody was claiming Kyle on taxes. Well, you could go back. Heather couldn't because we weren't married. There's a reason why she couldn't. So I told Becky, I says, why don't you just go ahead and claim Kyle and you keep the work part and just give me the child part, the credit. So the child credit was $1,000. So the first couple years she gave me for 2015, 16, and 17, she gave me the child credit. I wish, another thing about me you learn, I'm honest, I guess the first thing that I'll tell you about being honest is I lie. I know it doesn't really quite make sense. I mean, actually, let me rephrase it. I don't lie. Little white lies is what I mean. Like the other day, Gage is like almost a straight A or B student. So the other day on Christmas break, I don't know, he didn't have to do the final exams or whatever, and he wanted to get out of school like an hour early. So I called up there and told him he had a doctor's appointment. Yeah, I lied. That's a lie. Something like that. Which I try not to do. I did it because, because I want to make him happy. He's my son. So, but the statement that I lie, I didn't mean it. Like, I'm not going to cut it out. I'm not going to stop the video because I said I'm not going to do that. This is just going to be, it's just what you get. So, but I'm stating that if I can help it, I don't. And sometimes I just you try to be as honest as you can. I consider myself a spiritual person, a religious person. I guess what you'd say. I don't. I know the people who don't want to hear it and who do, so I don't push it on anybody. I have my own little. I believe in aliens, all that stuff. So I have my own little beliefs, but I believe in God. And I know one thing: if you're sitting here lying about stuff and praying for help, God's not going to help you. So, like with my disability, I'm sitting here praying to God to help me with my disability, but if I'm lying about all of it, He's not going to help you. He's not going to help you with a lie. But, anyway, back to all that, that's one thing Dad always instilled in me is to be honest. You kind of make a name for yourself, which in small towns you grow up in, you move away and nobody knows you. Um, but anyway, when it came time for Haley and Gage, uh, Heather and them had something worked out. I don't know where uh, Haley was going to keep. Becky was going to keep the 1,000 child credit, so I gave or just let her keep the 1,000 child credit that she was going to give to me, and that was supposed to go toward Haley a car at this time, because Becky didn't have to worry about Gage. I mean, that's not her, but we do. So Heather put all her tax money on the car, and Heather was even going to put a little bit for Haley. Make it like 1,500, and then Becky could have added another 2,000. So the original price would have been 4,000, but that didn't happen. They didn't get a car. So I don't know what Becky did with it. It's not my business. Um, there could have been something that happened that had to happen. That's one thing I also try really hard not to do is be I hate hypocrites. One thing I can't stand liars and hypocrites. And again, that's why I was going earlier. See, that second time it happened, I spaced off about the lying thing, and telling the truth. Kyle, he tells the truth. That's one thing I'll give him. That's what I tried to raise my kids to do. Before cause they always came over here just till a couple years ago, so I always try to raise them to be honest and all that. And by that, when I got the 3,000 I got from Becky over a 2-year period, I could have saved back. I could have put back for the kids the car, and I didn't. I was selfish. I spent the money on me. And I admit that. I wished this was just 3 years ago, and a person or 2 years ago, and a person can change a lot. And in the last 5 years, I guess I would say I've changed a lot, but little bits and pieces here and there. I never beat my children. I would spank them. I slapped my son one time. Wasn't very hard, about like that, but I did, and those I regret. I never, I would get mad and my intimidation was getting mad and yelling and raising my voice, kind of like a drill sergeant, I guess. But I had fair rules. There wasn't any bad rules, or I thought I was really fair. But I've changed a lot over the years, even more so the last couple years. But with when you don't have a lot of money, I guess, when you get a big chunk of money, it's hard not to want to spend it, because you have access to things you'll never have access to, and you never do. And yeah, it can go, well, it's your fault for not picking a better career, whatever. Yeah, I get that. But again, it is what it is. This is the life I've got, so this is what we go off of. But so I don't know if it's the whole car, because Gage got a really nice car and they don't have any car yet. And I think they kind of feel like, well, why aren't my parents helping? Because my parents my parents have never been rich, but they've been okay. Like I say, we never had to grow up needing or wanting. We always had everything we wanted. We didn't have extra, but we did. But my dad, taught me, he didn't just give me things. Just had the money, he didn't just give me things. I had toys and clothes, yes. But when I started working, when I was 16, I had to work for my car or for the gas, the insurance, all that I had to work for. So just like Gage right now, he pays his own insurance. Anything, and our insurance went up a lot too, like 4 something a month. Or 6, I don't know how she does all that. Heather does all that, but from what we would pay now to what we pay because of him, for Gage being on there, He pays that. He pays his gas. He pays his insurance. So that's not. And Becky wants to help get Kyle a car, and she thinks that'll help him to start working. We got to work first, but again, I want to portray by Becky's an excellent mom. She loves those kids so much, so much. She may not be the best parent. See, I don't. Again, that sounds bad. Not deleting it though. What I mean to me, like the parent is the disciplinary figure. Like there's two sides to being a parent, a mom or dad. There's the disciplinary figure, normally the dad, and then what I would say mom or dad, but the disciplinary figure, the dad, then the mom. So the parent, like when you think of a parent, I think of a disciplinary figure. When I think of a mom and dad, that's the love, the comfort when they're upset, the being able to talk to and all that. She's an amazing mom. The kids absolutely trust her. They talk to her about anything. They talk to her about stuff I wish they would trust in me about, because I think they'd be shocked to find out the things that I'm understanding about. I mean, just because I've done bad things doesn't mean it's okay for them to do them. Heck no. And I would never sit here and say, well, yeah, but I did that, so it's not so bad. No, you don't want your kids to do what you did. And if that makes you a hypocrite, then so be it. I guess that'd be the one thing where I can gladly and proudly say I'm a hypocrite, is that the shit that I did, there's no way I would allow or want my kids to do. And I'm completely fine with that. Um, so, when I sit in here, we'll get into all this stuff later. I guess kind of the reason I'm even making this is, when I get stressed or I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, and I used to always write it down. I would write pages, which people have told me I write too much. And, what do you do when you got stuff to say? How do you do it? You just write it. I mean, I don't know what else, don't want to be vague about stuff. You just write. But then I would delete it. It's a good stress reliever. So I don't know. I thought this whole video thing, maybe this would be a good stress reliever. I don't know. But I basically rambled on for 22 minutes and 6 seconds now. So if you never come back, that's that's completely fine. I'm gonna start posting this on my YouTube. Actually, I'm gonna create a new YouTube channel just for this. So yeah, nothing's gonna be uncut. If I'm making you sick from the camera's not, I don't know. I do want to get a camera tripod so I can set it down. But other than that, I'm just gonna turn this on. I don't know, maybe twice a day, 3 times. I'm just gonna turn it on when I turn it on. I'm gonna talk when I want to talk. I'm gonna shoot when I want to shoot. I'm gonna share what I want to share. This is just gonna be my life, past, present, future. Not gonna be no fancy this or that. It's just raw. Raw me, raw my life. So it's just Christmas Eve morning. I'm gonna go for now, I guess. So I will just talk to y'all later. Goodbye.